Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of Super Mario World. Last episode, we kind of talked about E3 and, stuff that's happening in E3 and, the cool things that are, happening with E3 and all the games that are coming out. It's so exciting, okay? It's crazy. But today we're going to expand a little bit about it. And then last episode, of course, we beat the second castle and we got the other Koopa out of the way. So we're going for the third castle, and we also get a Switch Palace in this episode. So we will get that for sure. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about E3 again. So last episode, I was wondering, maybe Nintendo will top it off, okay? And they kind of did, okay? Firstly, Nintendo's Pokemon game is unreal. I don't know if you guys have saw pictures of it or have seen the sneak peek at what the new Pokemon look like, and just in general what the gameplay looks like for Pokemon Sun. I believe they didn't show Moon, but they were playing Sun. Now, this happened a day or so ago, and I decided I want to talk about it. So the Pokemon game looks great. I'm going to tell you right now, the graphics are amazing. They actually added like drop shadows for each of the Pokemon. So every Pokemon will have their own little shadow in battle. You guys will actually notice that. Again, I don't know if it will still be in there because they said it was in beta still. So because it releases in November, that's what they said, November of 2016, which is very close to 2017, okay? That's very close to that. So it could change a lot before it comes to release. So everything that we've seen already with E3 and stuff probably won't be there for the next one. But stuff like the shadow, the trainer's look, that is definitely going to stay in the game, obviously, or they wouldn't have added it in the first place. But it's really cool. You can even pick up your items, like your Pokemon character can even pick up the items that you find. They try to make it almost realistic as possible. So that's one good thing about Pokemon is every year Nintendo basically upgrades their game just a little bit more. And you guys can see throughout the years how Nintendo does it. They still keep the same feel. It's really hard to explain. Nintendo is a company, like if you were to compare it to Sony and Microsoft in terms of Xbox and PlayStation, Nintendo is its own tier. You know what I mean? It's like its own ballpark. Like when we think of Nintendo, we think of like old characters because they were here since the start. So they're going to continue expanding what they've had from those old characters into the new generation, which is great. And a lot of people still support Nintendo to this day. And just a lot of cool stuff happening with Nintendo. So yeah, Pokemon is one of them. So Pokemon has my attention for sure. It's kind of like Pokemon X and Y, but it's got more realistic graphics. Your character also does a lot more. The Pokedex is way revamped. It's like a Rotom Pokedex. So it's a little bit different than all the other Pokedexes that we've seen. It's basically based off of a Pokemon as well, which is really cool. Overall, the game looks really good, and I think it's going to be one amazing game. Nextly, we're going to talk a little bit about the Zelda game. So, Breath of the Wind, I think, or Breath of the Wild. It's one of those. I don't know why I get mixed up with that, but it might be Breath of the Wind. That game looks amazing, okay? What they've said is the Zelda game, you can now, like, if you do not like the story mode for that game, you can actually skip that. So if you're someone who doesn't care about the story, really just about the gameplay, you can literally skip that whole, like, all these stories and just do the gameplay, which is cool for those people that like that. Again, for the people that like the option of having a story mode on top of the gameplay, you guys will also be able to do that as well. So they kind of do it, for both ways. Some people don't like the story, they don't care about it, they really care just about the gameplay. Other people like the gameplay, but on top of that, they really want a good story with it. So it's cool to see that Nintendo looks at both perspectives. They listen, you know what I mean? Like, Nintendo's a company that does listen. And from that alone, like, even though Nintendo didn't show as many games as the other 2 or 3, what was it? What did Xbox have? They had like 6, 7 games. PlayStation also had around that. They were really cool games as well. Sony had way more cooler games. I mean, the only one that caught my eye for Microsoft was the Halo one, which is cool. But overall, I mean, I'd rather have 2 good games than 6 games that are decent. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you want to make a game, you got to make it a game. You know what I mean? I know it's money, I know it's stuff like that, but at the same time, like, these are people that want to enjoy games still. You know, and you got to keep that. You got to keep that thriving, because these companies know how strong a gaming community is. It is unreal. Like, there's stats like on Twitter. Like, this is a Twitter statistic that I found out. 60% of users are gamers. That was some statistic that came out of like one of the official Twitter accounts. It was verified too, and it was saying that statistic like 60% of our gamers, 60% of our users are gamers, and it's like, that is crazy. You know what I mean? So obviously people are paying attention to this. Like, if you look at the hashtags, stuff like that, it's all about E3. It's all about what's hip with the new games, stuff like that. Like, it's a big deal. It is a really big deal. Like, even Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2, when they first released like a small trailer of it, was a top trending tag. And that's just Xenoverse, okay? That's just one game. On top of that, you have like things like conventions and stuff that just focus on gaming in general. Of course, that's gonna get a lot more attention, you know what I mean? So, in reality, it's cool to see that these gaming companies are still striving, deving their games how they want it. And also like, listening to input as well. So the things that I'm looking forward to in terms of like what I've seen from E3 is Crash Bandicoot. I really hope they expand a little bit more than what is in the Skylanders and stuff like that. Not many people are a fan of that, but again, there is other ways that Crash is going to pretty much do well. They're going to try and bring back those classics into an HD format, which is cool. And you know, that will be very exciting. So Crash Bandicoot is one. The Pokemon and Zelda, I'm thinking about getting those two new 2 Nintendo games off the bat. They look like they were really good presented at E3. Nintendo took the time to present each of those games and kind of look at the gameplay and stuff. I'm gonna tell you now, the Zelda one is amazing. The Pokemon one is great. You can really see that Nintendo is basing it off of what we see with our classics. Just some revamps that will probably make it more desirable as a viewer. And what I think they're trying to do is Nintendo is also trying to broaden their gaming perspective for people that like that high quality, the gameplay. So Nintendo's trying to, you know, make it happy for the people that like those retro types of games. And then on top of that, the newer generation who likes the graphical stuff. So it's really cool that Nintendo's keeping that. There's a lot of companies that don't do that. They literally switch it off the bat. I'm not gonna call out Sony, but like, for them to release Crash Bandicoot for years, you know what I mean, and not really pay attention to it, it kind of proves why that kind of disappears for some companies, because they think by generation no one's going to care about Crash, but people do. So it's cool to see that they're going to revamp it, and they're also going to show why people loved it, you know, in these old times to the newer generation with kind of these HD graphics, you know what I mean? So it's just a little different, but, you know, the graphics are there. There's no reason why, you know, these people will not like it, and it's really exciting. And I think Nintendo kind of dived in it with this E3 showcase, and you know, that's awesome to experience. It looks really good too. So they've got great developers who are working hard, and we're at the last castle, Lemmy's Castle. Okay, this castle I did not like for some odd reason. Okay, I don't know why. I just never found this level something I liked. I think it's because of the lava part. Wait, should we go and get a... Oh god, okay, I'm gonna try and get a P-switch here. Be a good idea. But yeah, overall E3 is awesome. Again, if you guys are not catching up with it, you still have trailers on all of the websites. Can we... No! Okay, we don't need the P-switch. We're not even gonna be able to get through the door. So we'll just fly through here. Okay, he almost hit me. And let's go back in here. Okay, so... yeah, so if you're not catching up with E3, there is trailers on all the the systems and stuff like that, the companies, you know, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, stuff like that, they have trailers for it. So they're not going to go trailerless, don't worry. So if you're not keeping up to date with E3, it does not matter. You'll still see what they presented at E3 through their trailers. So definitely keep an eye out for it. Maybe you'll like it too, and you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, it is almost coming to July. Now, what I told you guys last update video, if you guys have not seen that update video, I'll just kind of sum it up. The update video is a little while ago, so time goes by so quick. I remember making that like the other day. Man, life is so freaking quick. Anyway, what I talked about was I will be gone for like a month and a half, so there won't be videos from July to like end of August. So that's like a month and a half. So I'm debating on doing vlogs kind of to show you guys the country a little bit, because I will literally just be in Bosnia with my family and stuff, kind of looking around, having some fun, all that kind of stuff, you know, just get away from everything and just, you know, do stuff for fun. I'll do some vlogs, and that was pretty easy. Well, anyway, and you know, maybe post some here and there. It won't be active on the channel though. It'll probably be 1 or 2 vlogs a month, but I could try and extend it. I don't know how good the internet will be over there. That's the problem. So I don't know how long the uploads would be, as well as I don't know how much video my Samsung can, you know, take and upload and all that kind of stuff. So I'll have to look through it all, you know what I mean? Anyways, Mario has triumphed over Lemmy Koopa of the Castle number 3. Mario's quest is starting to get much more difficult. Have you found the red and green switches yet? We definitely did, and we got that out of the way pretty quickly. So let's save here, and I think that's gonna do it, guys. So next episode we'll go against Castle 4. Castle 4 looks really short, so I could extend it. We'll see. Anyways, see you guys next episode.